Let's go Woody, Tanya, and then to Claire.
Woody Kane with MRN. Jeff, can you describe a little bit about how teams' approach to Pocono has changed over the years? You shifted, then you didn't. Before that, you didn't, and now with the wing and the spoiler, how has all that changed for you guys at that track over the years?
Yeah, the Pocono thing is really interesting because every time you get in the car, you got to remind yourself not to shift because I'm so used to going there and shifting. My first time in the car at Pocono, my crew chief always says, "Hey, you can't shift," because I'm liable to grab a gear, and that wouldn't be a good thing. It's the big change at Pocono really was turn 3 when the upper groove, that groove and a half got paved because it was coming up or whatever. That moved the groove way up to the top of the racetrack. The great question going there next week is that groove still better than the bottom? And we don't know whether it will be or not. The first race by far it was. Then it got to be a little bit less of an advantage, and I suspect that over time it'll be less of an advantage even yet. So going to Pocono, that's really the question: is how do you do turn 3? What do you run that top lane or do you run the bottom? Until we get there and try it out, we really won't know.
Got time for two more, Tanya and Claire.
Tanya Ganguly, Orlando Sentinel. Jeff, do you think that the Indy 500 NASCAR double is a thing of the past because of how much goes into each side these days?
Well, the scheduling hasn't worked the last few years. And I'm assuming you're talking about a driver doing both races. If there really is an effort to do that, we need to, Indy needs to start as early as possible, and this race needs to start as late as possible. The trouble with it is it's very difficult to ask a Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, that top-notch driver that can affiliate himself with a top-notch cup team and put the effort that it takes to be successful at this level and also have that same effort there. It's just very difficult to do. I mean, if you run IRL cars every weekend and test them and do all the things that they do, it's very difficult to imagine that our best driver, that Jimmy Johnson could go and just pop in there and do as well as Castroneves and those guys. So I'm not saying it won't be done. I just think it's very, very difficult to be successful at both. I don't know if it's a thing of the past, but I think it's very, very, very difficult to be successful at both.
Final question, Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Jeff Gordon behind his hauler just said that qualifying today is going to be a white-knuckle experience. Would you echo that, and can you talk through qualifying today?
There's any question about it. It's going to be really interesting. I was really surprised at the level of grip that we had from the test into the race last week. I thought the grip level was pretty far off. We made a Q run here at the test, and we ran a good half second faster than we did last week. And I thought, and we were in the hooligan race, but we were second, and I think we ran a respectable speed. The question is, it's going to be worse today. And although I will tell you, sometimes when the track's worse, it's less. I don't want to say scary feeling, but when you have a lot of grip, you're just up in the gas, and when you have less grip, it turns into some finesse. So. It just depends. I thought, the lap we made in testing here was more of an eye opener than the lap we made in the race last week, just because of the less grip. But yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be 90 degrees today, and a late draw is going to be very important. I can assure you, everybody's wanting a late draw.
Jeff, thanks a lot, and good luck this weekend.